Shifting into module 2, we're going to be talking about marketing today. Any questions at all before we get started? Questions? So we'll start off with a couple quotes this morning. First quote comes from John Wooden, basketball coach at UCLA for many years. I think the winningest college basketball coach in history. Something he was famous for telling his players. He said, the team that makes the most mistakes wins the most games. Wooden would encourage his players, these young college basketball players, that to make mistakes. It was okay to make mistakes when they were on the court. Okay to particularly aggressive mistakes, to make an extra pass, to take a shot maybe they hadn't taken before, to be aggressive on defense, to incur a foul from time to time. He told his players it was okay to make mistakes. Second quote comes from Thomas Watson, the founder of IBM, all the way back in the 1950s. Watson is famous for saying, the way to succeed is to double your failure rate. The way to succeed is to double your failure rate. Imagine if you turn to your employees after this session and suggested to your employees that they should all try to double their failure rate. Make twice as many mistakes as you normally do. But again, Watson found that that's how people grow. That's how they get better, is being willing to experiment, be willing to make mistakes. Watson is famous. He had a young executive working for him, and that executive made a $10 million mistake. It was a big mistake. He called the young executive into his office and he said to the young man, he said, do you know why you're here? Young executive thought for a moment and said, well, I'm assuming to be fired. I'm assuming to be fired. Watson said, fire you? Fire you? Of course not. I just spent $10 million on your education. Why would I fire you? That was his mindset. He invested in his people and he wanted them to be okay with making mistakes, experimenting, trying things out. Third quote comes from Winston Churchill, famous prime minister during World War II in Great Britain. He said, success is going from failure to failure without a loss of enthusiasm. So what was Churchill suggesting? That, again, okay to fail on a small scale, okay to make mistakes. And yet when we do that, we have to maintain our enthusiasm, maintain our energy. We don't want to let failure get us down. So why do I start with these quotes this morning? Well, because I think marketing is one area within your business that it is okay to make mistakes. In fact, I too will encourage you to make mistakes as it relates to your marketing. Small mistakes, small errors. Jim Collins is famous for saying, encouraging business owners to shoot bullets and not cannonballs. Bullets meaning it's okay to try things out, small mistakes, small errors. Don't want cannonballs. Those might sink our ship. Those might put us out of business. But marketing is one area that, in fact, I will encourage you to make mistakes. When we talk about finance, no mistakes in finance. Talk about operations in module 5. Want to try to minimize your mistakes, your errors there. But in terms of marketing, I think that's how we learn marketing. I think that's how we learn what works and what might not work in terms of our marketing, is by making mistakes. And part of that is because marketing is changing so rapidly. The tactics, not so much the strategies that we'll be talking about today and in our next session, but the marketing tactics, the things that we do daily, certainly change over time. So again, I'm going to be encouraging you to make mistakes. So as we think about marketing, I like this quote from Ken Edmondson. He's an author and writes blogs on marketing. He says, the marketing function is the least understood business function for most mid-market companies, and that would include you all, small businesses as well. And it has changed more than any function over the last 20 years. Marketing is changing every day. What's working, what's not working, what's companies are innovating with. marketing is changing very rapidly, and we've got to be willing to change with it. Mark Satterfield, a small business marketing expert, said the following: the most small business owners think marketing is too expensive and won't work for them. The biggest problem they have is they never get started because they feel it's too overwhelming. I hear that from small business owners. They almost freeze in terms of their marketing efforts because they're not sure what they should be doing or how they should be doing it, when they should be doing it. So as a result, they don't do it. They hesitate, they wait on their marketing, which is unfortunate.